This is your boy, the Energy Coach, back with a special energy report. Today, we're going to get into the Bible, the history of the Bible, more specifically, the hidden history in the hidden books of the Bible. So make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. And this is finna get deep. This is finna get extremely deep. So I just want to say ahead of time, trigger warning, but this is going to get extremely deep. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start off with this first video.
Watch this brief history lesson on the Bible.
In the year 16,
I need y'all to listen now.
The Vatican removed 14 books from the Bible. To this day, there is no explanation as to why, and the Vatican is happier with the general population not knowing. There were originally 80 books in the Bible when it was translated from Latin to English back in 1611. These days, there are only 66. The missing books are known as the Apocrypha, which in Greek means hidden. The missing books include Esdras, Tobit, Judith, the Wisdom of Solomon, the Songs of the Three Holy Children, Bel and the Dragon, Maccabees, and the Prayer for Manasseh. Even stranger is that Jesus' name was spelled Iesus before these 14 books were removed. The church changed the pronunciation and spelling. If they had never changed anything, you'd pronounce Jesus' name as Yahushua.
Now, one thing that I can say, and I have read these books multiple times, you cannot get the whole story if you haven't read these hidden books, because that means you have half the truth. Half the truth is what? A lie. So that means you guys been lied to. I'm just saying. Y'all let me know what y'all think about them editing the Bible and putting the remix on it in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube if y'all want that to school.
Okay, yeah, shout out to him, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Now, it's important because you only getting a piece of the truth, and a piece of the truth can change the narrative, completely change the narrative. And it's important because most of our people belief system is the foundation of most of our people belief system. So if we only have a portion of this, that means our belief system is also flawed. You get what I'm saying? That's why it's also extremely important. But this is just one part. Let's get to the next video.
You're about to receive pertinent information from some of the most reputable.
Okay, so this is Hidden Identity by Drawback Jacob. This is going to be a more in-depth version of what we just seen. He's about to get into details on it. Shout out to Copper Colored Soul for this. I found this on her page. Y'all go check it out. She be having some good stuff on her page. Let's get into it.
Biblical scholars, historians, and archaeologists. And they all know something that you don't know. And that's your identity.
Again, trigger warning. This is might hurt. This might be some harsh, painful truth.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. Wait. The churches and the pastors, which are set up by the government, all teach in unison a doctrine that all black people come from the seed of Ham. But once you open up scholastic sources, you'll find out that the biblical scholars say something totally different from what's taught in Orthodox Christianity. What do they mean by Ham is the father of the dark races but not the Negroes? The Negroes themselves are a dark race of people, so how can you say that Ham is the father of all these dark races and exclude the Negroes? What are the biblical scholars trying to convey? What the biblical scholars are saying is that you're not African. There's only 4 families, according to the Bible, that make up the native population of Africa, or the land of Ham. And the biblical scholars know that you don't descend from any one of those 4 families. In order to write that in a scholastic and academic book, the biblical scholars have done extensive and thorough research on both the so-called Negroes and the Africans. Negroes, the native Africans, and they came to the conclusion after the extensive research that the Negroes don't have anything to do with the native Africans at all. They're two totally separate people. In the 1840s, Morton collaborated with George R. Glyden, an Egyptologist, who provided him with mummy heads and information about the racial significance of Egyptian tomb inscriptions. In Crania Aegyptiaca, published in 1844, Morton pointed out that both cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes. In 1840, Dr. Morton was trying to find out the racial origin of the so-called Negroes that were in America in slavery. So he got together with the Egyptologists, which supplied him with the mummy heads, and what he did was conduct an extensive research on the cranial remains of the heads in Egypt, in contrast to the cranial remains of the heads in America. And what he found out is that the Negroes that were in slavery were not Africans. He found out that the skulls were two totally different types of skulls. The Negro's head was longer than the Egyptian head. The physical characteristics from the outside look similar, with the thick lips and the broad nose. But once you start delving into the real characteristics, he found out that they were two totally different people, as abolitionists and colonizationists had maintained, and that in fact, blacks had been relegated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America. But what Dr. Morton did discover is that the Negroes that were serving slavery in America served the same position and servitude in ancient Egypt when they matched other skulls and other cranial remains in Egypt. They said these are exact matches. So what are the scholars saying? What you're going to find out is that they're saying that you are the biblical Israelites. Yes, you're the same exact people that served slavery in the land of Egypt. You're the same exact people that God sent Moses to go redeem under the hand of Pharaoh. You're the same exact people. And when you read the Bible, you will find out that slavery is a central theme in the Bible. It's a reoccurring theme with the Israelites. The Israelites cannot run away and get away from serving slavery. It continues to happen over and over, all the way up until today. You came out of Egypt as slaves, came down into the land of Israel. No sooner as you got there, then you had the Assyrians come, capture the land of Israel, and take you and make you slaves. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away into Assyria. You came out of the land of Assyria, went back to the land of Israel. Then the Babylonians came, which are the modern day Ethiopians, the Cushites, came to the land of Israel and made you slaves. So all Israel were reckoned by genealogies. And behold, they were written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah, who were carried away to Babylon for their transgression. You came out of the Babylonian captivity, went back to the land of Israel. Then the Persians came on down there, took the Israelites, and made you slaves. For we were bondmen, yet our God hath not forsaken us in our bondage, but hath extended mercy unto us in the sight of the kings of Persia. You came back from the Persian Medo captivity, went back to the land of Israel, rebuilt the temple up. Then the Greeks came on down there, took you and made you slaves, to entreat them that they would take the yoke from them. For they saw that the kingdom of the Grecians did oppress Israel with servitude. After you came from the Greek captivity, you went back into the land of Israel, rebuilt the temple because the Greeks were sacrificing swine and pig on the altars. No sooner as you came back to the land of Israel, then the Romans came and had you during the time of Christ as slaves. There was so much slavery going on with the Israelites that Jeremiah himself had to ask. he had to say. Is Israel just put on earth just to be slaves? Is that your whole purpose? Just to be servitude to other nations? Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? So you might be asking yourself, if the so-called Negro is part of the 12 tribes of Israel, how in the world did you get to the west coast of Africa? And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. This is Christ right here speaking to the Israelites. He says, when you see Jerusalem compassed or surrounded by the Roman armies, then know that the desolation or the destruction of the land of Israel is getting ready to happen. The Romans getting ready to come in here and tear some stuff up. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out. And Christ says, when you see the Romans coming in, you better get ready to flee into the mountains. And what you're going to realize is that the mountains that he was talking about was the land of Africa. It was the same exact place that Mary and Joseph took Jesus when they were fleeing from Herod when he was trying to come find Jesus to kill him. They went right into Africa. And the Israelites went into Africa as well, fleeing from the Romans. In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Over 1 million of you Israelites fled from the land of Israel into the land of Africa, running away from the Romans because the Romans was coming to put slaughter to the Israelites. The ones that didn't take heed to the prophecy of Christ, when he said you better leave and go to the mountains, go to Africa, when they got caught by the Romans, they were taken back to Europe and sold in slavery and put in servitude and became gladiators, put in the lions' dens. The pagans and the Romans attacked the Jews indiscriminately. Both the Jewish soldiers and the uninvolved peaceful population without mercy. As a result of this merciless attack, many Jews fled to those parts of Northwest. You're about to receive pertinent information from some of the most reputable biblical scholars, historians, and archaeologists. And they all know something that you don't know. And that's your identity.
Okay, yeah, I thought that was interesting. I thought this was very interesting. I know it's quite a long video. He got some more on there. Yeah, y'all should definitely go check it out. Now, the crazy thing about all of this is because I've only heard Kali, shout out to Kali, talk about as far as the different stages of slavery from different people, you know, what are people. And then I came across this and I'm like, damn, that's very interesting. Now, another interesting point is Grand Sheik Taj Tariq Bey used to also talk about how the word Hebrew was just Ibri. And Ibri only translated into those who crossed the river. And once upon a time during the continental drift, the continents used to be very close to each other. So apparently, I believe it is Florida and parts of West Africa. They have the same. It's Florida and either West Africa or another part of Africa. They have the same exact agriculture. It's only found there. And I'm wondering if that was when they crossed the river during the Noah's time back into the land. You get what I'm saying? Now, this is just, I'm not an expert on it. I just found this interesting, so I just decided to share it with you guys. But I know it is definitely something fishy going on with our people, our history, and the way we've been treated by the world. So Yeah, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what y'all think about that. And yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one.